I'm here with Bob Hatcher. He is the president of the Stone City Foundation. Bob, thanks so much for inviting us here.
You're welcome. We welcome you to Stone City.
It is a lovely community. So tell me a little bit about Stone City Foundation. What is its purpose? What is it doing?
Stone City Foundation is a 501c3 organization. Local residents, in fact, we've drawn a line kind of around the community and said these are the people we want to have on the board and to be part of it with three things in mind. Number one is to collect as much of the old memorabilia we can. Number two is to display it and help attract more tourists to the area. And number three is to restore the old buildings in Stone City. That's our main purpose. And we've been in business about 10 years now doing that too.
Yeah, what a noble endeavor. I mean, the idea that these buildings in this area were just crumbling, just falling to the ground, getting burned out, and somebody said, you know what, these are worth keeping. These are worth preserving for as long as we can.
When I was in the service, I was in Germany, and as an interpreter, I spent a lot of time in the country looking at old castles, at 1,000-year-old buildings, 1,500-year-old buildings, and I come home and I see 200-year-old buildings, and we call them old, and they're falling down. And I'm saying, why? Because nobody's taking care of them. Mm-hmm. So we said, why don't we do that? Why don't we attempt to take care of some of these buildings if we can? You might be aware the whole village is on the Register of Historic Places. The whole village. Some of it shouldn't be, but it is. And there are some historic. The church is a good example. This building is another good example. The general store right next door is another good example. These are good examples, I think, of buildings that we want to keep on the register and keep them up, keep them going.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, it's certainly worth preserving.
Yeah.
Tell me, what's it like living in a historical town like this?
Well, we think it's a great place to live. We've lived here for 32 or 33 years and we love it. Probably would never think of living anyplace else. I'll have to tell you a very quick story. The other day, somebody stopped and said, I stopped to ask direction to your house, and the person said, "You mean the new people in town?" It's an old town with a lot of people who've lived here all their life. It's just kind of living in the country with a neighbor fairly close to you. We have a great water trail right close to us, the Wapsipinicon River. A lot of people use that weekends. It's very crowded in the summertime. It's a quiet place. I would say at 5 o'clock when the trucks quit running, it quiet right down, and it's a nice, quiet little village to live in. Very little. I won't even say crime because I don't know there's any crime at all. Very little mischief goes on, except for neighbor kids occasionally, climbing your apple trees or some of that. But it's just a nice, quiet place to live, and virtually everybody knows everybody else, and we're all neighbors. We're all here to help one another, and now we find most people are kind of interested in seeing restoring. Mm-hmm. Can we go ahead and restore this building or that building and more of them? And hopefully you've seen today some of the other buildings that we're looking at, and there's a lot of them that need to be restored.
Right.
So
right.
Our work could probably go on way, way after I'm here. We hope this continues forever.
Yeah, I mean, so do I, because it's rich history and culturally significant history, mm-hmm. especially for the state of Iowa. Yeah, well, Bob, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and thanks so much for sharing your history with us.
You're welcome. Thanks again for coming. We appreciate it.